8,
You're watching The
7,
Experience, Comic Culture, and
6,
Sales.
5,
Streaming live daily to
4,
Facebook, YouTube,
3,
Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
I'm back, everyone. I hope y'all missed me. Though I do want to thank Joe and Jeffro for filling in for me while I was visiting family in what Des calls banjo country, which really wasn't a banjo country. But, you know, I'm back, and I'm ready to talk some comic books and the first 3 episodes of my adventures with Superman. So, hi, Des.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. You are watching the Geek Chat on The Experience. I am Rich, the comic book beardy.
I'm Des, aka Blackbeardy.
Oh, little baby beardy.
It's growing in. I think I have to shave it to cut it for the summer. It's been hot.
Yeah, you had what, 100 and what, 102?
No, I only got to like 98.
Only 98.
This isn't like
Hello,
Central Valley
Paul.
heat.
Thank you. I saw you guys were getting like heat, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
No.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Hey, welcome, new member, Dwayne. Dwayne Zapane. Love it. Welcome. Hi, Steve. Welcome in. Canadian survivalist. Appreciate you joining us. And Paul. Yes, he is back. I'm very happy to have him back. Though my two guest hosts were really fun, but yeah, I'm happy that you're back.
I am too.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. But before we do that, we have to talk about our giveaway. Yay!
Yes.
Yes. We are giving away a fantastic variant cover, 1 in 25, of The Ultimates #1 by Jonas Scharf.
Scharf.
It's Scharf. SCHARF.
Scharf.
Yeah, so all you have to do is put in hashtag EXP under lowercase, TGC uppercase, and the word variant, all lowercase. And you could be entered to win this fantastic variant cover of Ultimates #1, which we will be talking about on this week's episode.
Yep.
Little spoiler, I really enjoyed it. So I cannot wait to hear Rich's thoughts, because I have to say I missed his witticisms and his funniness. So I'm happy that he's back.
Kelly stopped in and said hi to me today, and he's like, "So, what did you think of the wedding issue? Since your comment, I really got to know." So I told him.
He hasn't told me yet, so he might have to let me know later. But I don't think he liked it.
So this is a thank you from the Geek Chat just for watching us. You can win yourself a variant cover, a 1 in 25 variant. And if you don't know what that means, just a little background. A 1 in 25 is called a ratio variant, in which retailers have to order 25 regular covers just to get that one cover. They come in 1 in 10s, 1 in 25s, 1 in 50, 75, 100. I think Image is doing like a 1 in 500 for some of their G.I. Joe stuff, which we're going to talk about Scarlet. And if you've watched us, you know I am loving the Energon universe. It is so good. So stay tuned for the Scarlet #1 review we'll be doing. And yeah.
Cool. So please don't wait till the last minute. Put in your hashtag, and we will get you in to win.
Hello, also, Mr. Kenneth Bird.
Yes, welcome, Kent. Also, we'll let you know that if you haven't already filled out the information for us to send to your comic, there's one person that I'm still waiting for, Lyle. If you're listening and you haven't put it in, now is your last chance. There you go. Experience has put it in. Please fill that out, and I'll be able to get you that comic. If not after today, unfortunately, we're gonna have to put it back into rotation. So we have another one that's coming out. Unfortunately, was unclaimed. So we'll be pulling that back into rotation next week. So next week we will have 2 comics, maybe even 3 variant comics to give away. So please, 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 please make sure you get these comics. They're here for you and they're free. All you have to do is win that hashtag. So having said all that, Rich, let's talk about TV, movies, and news. Venom trailer. What'd you think? Last Dance.
All right.
That's it.
So,
no more Venom.
Well, I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. Okay, I'm going to admit something, everyone. I actually am enjoying this Venom trilogy they're doing.
Yeah.
I thought 2 was better than 1, and I know 3 is going to be
Mm.
better than 2. I did, because I loved Carnage. I forgot his crazy name. The Woody Harrelson. I thought was the perfect
Cletus Cassidy.
Perfect for that role.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, we know that there were some symbiotes that were taken.
Mhm.
I think that we're going to see them in this number 3, the last game.
I think those symbiotes are the weird symbiote things that are chasing them that are a mixture of different creatures. So I think the Horizons Lab, I think it's what they're calling it, or whoever is the villainous laboratory, I think they are latching them to animals because maybe it's easier to do something with them. And I think we're going to see a lot of like Hulk-esque, Venom dogs and monsters chasing after him.
Oh, that horse was awesome.
Yeah, but then we get the horse, and then we get symbiotes from space. So because they found him, and people are saying that Null will be in this one.
I have a feeling. So I follow Ryan Stegman on Twitter, and he kind of said when the trailer was released, he was like, no. So interesting thing. I watched the trailer just to be familiar with it before we started talking.
Yep.
So I had my headpiece in, and it was at the bottom. It was what's it called? Closed caption.
Yeah, closed caption.
One of the names in that was Toxin.
Okay.
So the voice of Toxin. So we know Toxin. I mean, if the I don't know who does the closed captioning, if the actual Sony does that within the trailer. So someone identified that as Toxin. So there's another one we'll get. I am really looking forward to this. I think Tom Hardy is perfect. I like how Tom Hardy, unlike the comics, where, whoever has the symbiote is always level-headed and seems to be perfect with it.
Yeah.
I like how even in 3, Tom Hardy is still disoriented.
Yeah.
And he's not completely okay with having this in him. And I love how their relationship is so different. And how in the third one, at least, in the first one, he wasn't allowed to eat people. And in the second one, he kind of was allowed to eat people a little bit. But when he ate the heads off all the bad guys that were having the dogs, and then he's like, you take me to all the finest places, I was like, yes. I like this version that they're doing. And not to say that the TV or the comic book versions aren't Venom anymore, but I feel like Venom has been watered down by having 98 different versions of Venoms running around, that the sun is the actual Venom and he's like Space King Venom.
It's really lost I think it's lost its roots.
It has, and that's why I'm really enjoying these movies. Oh, what do we have? Oh,
So
hey, Biolard.
Hey, so Experience says, I thought Venom was a delicious cake and Venom 2 was a full can of frosting. Like, I'm not above eating frosting spoon straight out of the can, but it's just too much too fast. I know what? That's a really great analogy, and I think that's how I felt about 2 as well. 2 was just like super crazy and bananas. And I think
that's why I liked it.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think this one is going to be a lot more focused. And I want to see how they're going to end it, and if they are going to move it into
Marvel. I do
into
because
Spider-Man.
remember, there is a piece of him in the 616 movie universe that was at the end of. It was Venom 2, right? Where he went in he shifted over to the bar,
and they left a little piece of the symbiote.
Yeah,
because I guess even in the Marvel universe, thank you, Kenneth. Even in the Marvel universe, how it's in the MCU, all of the symbiotes are from every reality or timeline or whatever, all have a
Right.
central mind, so they all know everything, from all the other venoms or symbiotes throughout the multiverse. So I thought that's kind of cool. So that's maybe how Venom from Tom Hardy knew Peter Parker, and that's why he was brought over. So yes, while there is a Venom symbiote little thing running around in the MCU, I don't know how. I don't know where they're going to go with it. I don't know where we're going to see Peter Parker come in. Although I guess the head of pictures or something at Sony said that Spider-Man 4 is going to be a whole new, I don't want to say rebranding, but it's going to be a whole new thing for Spider-Man, and how what's his name is supposed to be integral to that. So the main guy. So I don't know. We haven't heard anything from Spider-Man in a while. I really hope, fingers crossed. I don't think it'll happen. It'd be kind of cool if we did get a hey Barlord. I think it'd be really cool if we got a cameo from Spider-Man in Wolverine and Deadpool. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
We'll know in a month.
But I think it'll be fun. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be awesome. Like you were saying, I do think that Venom was the correct choice for Sony to follow up with. I just don't know how they're going to make it last, because I do think that this third one is going to be the last one, and I don't know what's going to come for Venom after it. So
Hey,
I really hope they don't shoehorn something in for another trilogy or a fourth movie or something.
well,
like
that's
that.
what I was going to ask. Are we getting Craven this year? What's going on with Craven? Have you heard anything?
It has. And all I know is it was taken off the slate for reshoot. So after Madam Web and everything, I don't know what's going on.
Yes, Madam Web 2 will never happen.
You know what? I need a Madam Web too.
You
because
do not.
It's hilarious. I guess it's found it found its footing on streaming. No one went to the theaters to see it, but it's actually getting a lot of traction on streaming. So either it's just bad word of mouth is publicity, and they say even bad publicity is good publicity. Maybe that's why. But yeah, it's making like crazy numbers of streaming. So
that's good.
Hi,
BBB Hardcore Comics.
Yeah, welcome in, BB or Triple B. That's really good.
Triple B.
I'm a B. But yeah, I think we're all excited for it. Yeah, everyone wants to see the train wreck. You're right. Experience. We got to see the train wreck in theaters.
We did.
Dolby Sound. So, but I do believe that Wolverine Deadpool will be fantastic. So, but yes, Barlord, I really would like a good Morbid time. I really want them to do something with that stuff. I mean, they set up such cool stuff. Well, they set stuff up, and it's really sad that they can't like
do something.
Yeah, because like at the end of Morbin, we got the Vulture. So I would have loved to see what's going on with that, because how bad it is. We're probably not going to get a Sinister Six unless we really are, and they don't care. I mean, at this point, if I was Sony, I would basically rush out a Spider-Man movie and do a Sinister Six and let that be it, and then just let them all be part of a Spider-Man franchise, and then have Spider-Man every now and then jump over to the MCU to help out. There's no reason why he cannot be in two different universes. I mean, Spider-Gwen did it all the time. Miles is doing it in Across the Spider-Verse. There's no reason why viewers or audiences cannot make the leap that's like, oh, these movies take place in his own timeline or his own universe, and the MCU take in this one, and have Peter Parker just be aware of both of them. They've already established that in Spider-Man 3 that there's a multiverse. Peter knows about it. Let him do it. No one knows.
And they don't have to look alike, because in that Spider-Man they showed you don't have to look alike to be the variant.
Yeah. But yeah, Barlord says, I think if they went back to the 90s way of doing it and make them their own thing, they'd have a better shot at doing well. Yeah, but it's all up for them. I think it's all about casting known faces. So I think that's why they're probably going to run with the current Peter Parker. Although I do really wish that they would just make Miles, because there's no reason
Miles,
why.
yeah.
There's no reason why Miles and Peter can't occupy in the same space as live action characters. No reason whatsoever. But on to something that we're really super excited for is My Adventures of Superman episodes 1 through 3. They have returned, people, and then we're going to review later My Adventures with Superman number 1. So yeah, fantastic. So a lot of stuff has happened. I absolutely love this show. I think this is a return to form. It is, I hate to say it, like, this is the blueprint for how Superman should be. And I really hope that James Gunn is looking to make a Superman-esque movie that is like this. Because this really gets back to the Smallville hero-esque, character that Superman strives in. And what I really love about this is, even though they're young adults and they have a little bit of angst, it's not like crazy amounts of angst that seems to be,
it's not the
dumb.
WB.
Yeah, it's not the dumb WB angst.
Mm-mm.
And that's what I'm really liking about it. So
I like the humor. I like the mix of humor and the way the world is being formed. I think that one thing is what I'm enjoying most about this show, is that they're literally taking it from the ground up, building. I was so excited we got Steel. And even though it wasn't the Steel we all know,
but it
wasn't what's come before.
But it could be.
Remember
at the end, and I love it, they introduced Lex, and he was there the whole time.
In the first series.
Yeah, Lex was Ivo's, huge lab tech who is Lex Luthor. So we're gonna get to see how Lex Luthor loses his hair and goes crazy. I think that's gonna be something towards the end, when him and Superman finally have at it. I cannot wait to see that episode. See, it's planting seeds like that are getting ready to that are going to blossom later on in the season, that just make me so super happy. The fact that Lex Luthor's working for Task Force X with Amanda Waller, and then they bought the lab that Steel works in, and then took all of the stuff, meaning that Steel is not going to have to.
He has to rebuild a suit.
Exactly,
and that's what I love. I'm like, okay, so we get these characters that we've known in new kind of, they're basically new to the world, because we're watching this Superman world unfold every week. And I love how they're tied the Kryptonian technology to the villains. I like that Livewire is not just this crazy woman trying to kill. She's for hire. Like the fact that Deathstroke is in it, but not as Deathstroke. Like, there's just some great thought and care going into the show.
Yeah.
I have to say, and you're not going to agree with me, and I don't care, I think that it's too early to bring Kara in. I do not like the fact that they're doing that. That's my one thing. I think it's cute that every week we get a little tease and he's trying to tell Lois. Like, that's kind of cute. But let's build the world of Superman first before we bring in Kara.
They are building the world.
I know, but I'm just...
I'm happy to see her.
I'll be too, but I just think it's too early.
You know why I'm happy to see her?
Why?
Because she is going to probably be a gal pal to Lois, who needs that. I think she needs that sort of gal pal who is like Cal and can talk to her about Cal, and she can understand and infer with Lois possibly about what's going on with Cal. You see, because Cal has Jimmy, and although Jimmy is playing both roles for both of them, she needs a gal pal, and I think that's what she's going to be to Lois. and they're going to fight together. Remember, Kara is going to have to learn a lot. And I think that's what's going to have to happen. And I think we're going to see a lot of really interesting stuff between Lois and Kara in order to get her up to speed about what's going on. And I love that about it. And I love the fact that Lois is not afraid to go and do stuff. And the whole thing, that whole episode where she was up against Cat Grant, fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you. Hey, Lorena.
Hi, Lorena.
Kenneth, it is running at the bottom. So everyone, welcome in for our 1 in 25 variant. It's hashtag lowercase EXP, uppercase TGC, lowercase variant to enter.
Yep.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Yeah, that's the cover that we're giving away.
That's the cover. It
is a 1 in 25 variant from the Ultimates #1 by Rich Botel. No, thank you. It's
Jonas Scharf.
Yes, Jonas Scharf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to how are you feeling about having Vicky Vale.
Vicky Vale, sorry, Cat Grant is the other one.
Yeah, Cat Grant's there.
Sorry.
She was there too with Steve. Oh, they just cast Steve Lombard. It's going to be some guy from Saturday Night Live. He is going to be the live action Steve Lombard in the James Gunn movie. Yeah, they announced that today. But Vicky Vale, how do we feel about Vicky Vale being in My Adventures with Superman?
Oh, she was younger.
You do?
Yeah, because that could possibly make Batman older. But I guess it could be fun if they did.
Hey, Mick too.
Yeah, hi Mick too. If they do bring in Batman, it makes it weird that we think that Batman is going to be older than Superman because they're roughly the same age in the comics. Because, I mean, again, they can do whatever they want. And I don't think we're going to get Batman. I mean, we might get talks of Bruce Wayne, but I don't think we're going to get anything like Batman in this.
Right.
So,
like swinging through Metropolis.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that because we haven't seen any other like superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing that kind of makes it interesting for me is there hasn't been any other superheroes. So I would kind of like to see what else is going on in other stuff besides Metropolis and Smallville, because those seems to be the only places that we go to, and Antarctica, but I like it. Like I've really been enjoying the series, and I am kind of sad that we won't get Jor-El anymore, but I think getting Kara is that connection that we're going to get, because we have no idea what Kara's been doing. And it looks like when he gets her, she's
underwater.
Yeah. Or in space. That could be space.
That could be space too.
And it made me think that she was in space, and she's already an adult or older. So maybe something has happened. Maybe we're gonna get Kandor. Maybe she's in the Phantom Zone somewhere. Who knows? And I do like one thing, and I'm going to bring up about Jimmy. It was funny. A friend of mine, another black friend of mine, said, "Why they got to make the brother fiscally irresponsible?" I thought that was very funny, because Paul and I are thinking that because Jimmy is like a multimillionaire, that he's going to be broke by the end of the season. And I do
too, because they did that count at the top.
I really hope they don't do that. Like, I really hope they don't do that. And I really hope that he stays rich. Like,
hey, Canadian survivalist. If you would like to enter, you gotta capitalize that TGC.
Yes, everything else is fine. Everything else is fine. You just gotta capitalize TGC. So maybe I should have just made it all lowercase. That'd be easier. I guess I just wanted the Geek Chat to stand out in between it, but I don't know. But
okay. So next week, everyone. Next week we will be reviewing the first 3 episodes.
You're welcome, kiddo.
Of Star Wars: The Acolyte. I watched the first 2 yesterday. I have thoughts.
I haven't watched it yet at all. I do know that people were kind of upset because I guess there was a fire in space and people were like, "What the hell?" So I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm gonna watch it and then we're gonna review. Like Rich was saying, we're gonna review the first 3 episodes. Are they good thoughts? Are they bad thoughts? I mean, They're just thoughts.
They're thoughts.
Okay.
So last night when we watched them, Des was like, "Did you like it?" I'm like, "I didn't hate it." He was like, "I guess that's something."
Yeah, that is something. Whenever a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Shadow, I don't know. I have no idea what it's about. Seriously, I haven't read anything about it or anything. So I'm interested to go in just completely, eyes closed to see what's going on.
I will not spoil it for you, but the funniest thing on Twitter I will tell you next week, because it's just one line and it is the funniest thing. So next week we'll do the review for the Alkalite.
The Alkaline?
Alkalite.
So what are some of the things that you're hoping to see this season? Because we already got Metallo, we got the Metallos, so we're probably going to get a Metallo. We saw Steel. We're getting Kara. More talk about Brainiac and how warlike the Kryptonians are.
Right.
We got to see the breakout of Colonel Lane, and the whole thing with them living together all together is so silly. Like, I really hope that Colonel Lane kind of gets his mojo back, I guess. But for me, that whole situation is just silly. But what are you hoping to see this season?
I'm looking forward to Steel becoming Steel. That's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
And at the end, when Lex was like, be sure to leave that on your way out, meaning the suit.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I thought of was he just build your own. Okay, one thing I want to bring up. Okay, when Steel is in his armor, the giant armor, and he has the hammer, hammer's this big. When he comes out of the suit, somehow that hammer shrunk to be where he could put his hands around it, and it's like, doo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
Really?
You gotta pull it out. Yes, I noticed. Like, oh, that man's really strong. Did you notice also the other guy working there was Victor Stone's dad?
Yes. So
Cyborg.
Yes. Yeah, I said that to Coog. He's like, "Who was that?" And I'm like, "Silas Stone, Cyborg's dad." Cyborg was a
Teen Titan.
Did they say 9 or 10? They said about his age. He is.
Yeah, he's a kid.
He's a kid, so he's yet to experience the trauma of however they're going to do it.
Yeah,
losing half his body to become Cyborg.
Yeah, which makes me think that which really makes me think that we might get a young version of like Arthur, or we might get a young version of Diana, possibly, because I think those would be the only people that would. Well, I know everyone's alive. Everyone would be alive, but I'm thinking we might get like something from like Diana, possibly a young Diana would be kind of interesting,
on a peace tour.
Yeah, that would be fun. But again,
write it.
Yeah, we have a ton of stuff that it's just like it goes fantastic. It just, the whole thing is going fantastic, and I really cannot wait for more. Having said that, now it's time for our first commercial break, but please stay tuned because we are going to review My Adventures with Superman #1. So please stay tuned. See you in a minute.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
Ask your local comic shop to add Battle Quest comics to your pull list today.
By this time in our journey, we had been on the trail of a very elusive creature for about 96 hours. But all the hard work is about to pay off. Oh, crikey, there she is. Oh, by the markings, I'd say this one's at least a 9.8. Oh, she's a real beauty. A true mint copy. Oh, this one will make a fine slab on anyone's display wall. Oh, she's a feisty one, though. Look out, look out!
Mint Hunter Comics is the place to find that mint comic you've been searching for. Mint Hunter Comics, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, part of the experience.
I got the money, I got the show. You got that love and I can't let go.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You are watching the Geek Chat on the Experience. I kind of forgot to do this in the first segment. You can find the Experience on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. Be sure to go to comicshoppingexperience.com, sign up on the mailing list, and check out what shows are on when. There's something on every day, the Experience, whether it's a comic talk show like us, What's in the Box with Miss Jen, who is on before us, a buying show. Our Thursday lineup is amazing. It starts real early with Jan Comics. And then we got the Dan Wickline show, What's in the Box with Miss Jen, us, and then Sketch Up with Mog and Mel. And they're a great bunch of shows, all different types of shows. And again, comicshoppingexperience.com to find out what shows are on when. So, enter our 1 in 25 variant. We'll put that up for you. It is hashtag EXP, uppercase TGC, lowercase variant, to enter to win. You can only win once every 30 days.
Yep. And you got to put it in on either Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. So
That's right.
Yeah, if you're watching on, you got to watch on one of those to enter. And then, yeah, let us know and put that hashtag in at the end of the show. We will roll it. Our lovely assistant JD will switch it up, spin it up. It'll be fantastic.
Assistant. No. I just want to say thank you for everyone who's watching. Let your friends know, share. Also,
it looks like the capitals don't matter anymore. So either way, just put in the hashtag Experience TCG variant and it works. So yay, cool. Whether it's capitalized or not, you can cap everything, whatever you want, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't do that though. So definitely put it in because we want to give these comics away. They're for you.
For watching. Thank you.
So
all right.
My adventures with Superman. You want to go through the you want to do the honors since you're back, my friend?
I can. All right. So, The Ones Who Fell to Earth, Part 1. Written by Josie Campbell, who is actually, her names are in the credits on the show.
Yep.
Art by Pablo M. Collar. Colors by Nick Filardi. Letters by Lucas Gaffoni.
Yep.
And that cover is by Carly Squarteri. I am apologizing if I butcher your names, but
yes,
the cover looks just like the cartoon.
Yeah. I need to go check and see what the Riley Rossimo cover looks like because I don't know what that looked like, and I didn't see it. They didn't have it at my store, but yeah, I wanted to see what it looked like because now I got to go because I'm sure it was like really cool. So
yeah.
What were your thoughts, my friend?
So I actually really liked the art. It's really close to the animation style, but yet comic book. Like it's straight up
Yeah.
comic book, and it worked. And the story is set between seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And in this, we get what looks like the Amazo.
You got that too.
Oh my God, yeah.
See, that's why we're
Totally
best
was
friends.
Amazo.
That's why we're best friends. Right there. I knew you would look at that and you would be like, this is Amazo. And I was like,
It's Amazo.
It's
And
Amazo.
this what we think is a robot is destroying everything. And then at the end comes out and it's like, help me. And we're like,
yeah, save me.
save me. So who do you
I-
think created him?
Well, who was DeBose, the guy at the end who came to pick him up? Because this is a secondary unit. I don't think it's actually Checkmate. I think Checkmate oversees all of the Black Ops things. So
They brought that up in one of the episodes.
exactly. So
They mentioned Checkmate by name.
yeah, they mentioned in the first one too, the first season too, because that's who like orchestrates everything behind the scenes for Task Force X. And I think it's interesting they're calling it Task Force X, not Suicide Squad, because I guess that hasn't been formed yet. But
well, they're not using criminals. Like Suicide Squad is all about was about the government using criminals behind the scenes, where Task Force X was more
they're experimenting with criminals. We saw in the second episode. So that's something that's definitely happening. But or the third episode. But now I'm kind of wondering, what's this other group? Who is this other group that is trying to, as Deadshot puts it, replace them or push them out? So I honestly couldn't think of any other ones that really off the top of my head. Could it be who was the what was it, Mr. Bones, the skeleton that was in the suit?
That's the DEO.
So do you think it could be the DEO? But now this doesn't seem like it would be something that would be in the DEO's purview, because it's Amazo using the Kryptonian technology. So I was more interested in seeing who he was working for, because I could not place that name of who that character could possibly be. And I thought
hopefully next issue.
I thought maybe it can't be Deadshot, because that's not him. That's not his name.
No.
So, I don't know.
Floyd Lawton is Deadshot's name.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like they wouldn't like name drop this guy and not, or maybe it's a new character.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a new character. Maybe we'll see this character in the show.
Maybe. You know what else I liked about this?
What?
It kept the humor.
Yes.
When Jimmy's like, I need a way out of here, or when Clark's like, I need a way out of here, Jimmy's like, everyone look at me, and they all turn. And then Superman escapes out. It's just, they kept the little humor. I love it. I love the fact that the writing in this comic book reflects the writing that is in the show. That's not a separation. I don't feel like I'm reading something that's not within the world. Like they say it's set between 1 and 2. It feels like it's set between 2. We have some new people.
Yeah, welcome back in, Easy Reader. Sorry you got kicked, but glad you're here. Hey, Beck, everything's going pretty good. Happy to have Rich back. He was on vacation for the last 2 weeks, but I had two really good fill-in co-hosts. So if you're interested to see who those guys are, please go read that. Go look at that those other episodes. They're on the Experiences YouTube channel. Please go check it out. It's awesome.
And then Beck, if you would like, also join the chance to win a 1 in 25. Just saying.
Yeah.
So I am actually going to read a DC book, at least until this is over. I think it's maybe 5 or 6 issues.
I thought it was only 4.
Maybe 4. They don't put it. Remember when they used to put it on the cover? 1 of 4. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna read this. I'm glad that it is not companion reading. I'm glad that this takes place in a specific time frame, and I really hope that they do another one between 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and however long this goes, because I think this is a fantastic way to get both readers and viewers to kind of cross those lines. And this is perfect that they have people that are actually responsible for the production of the TV show doing the writing, because like you said, it keeps the tone and it's not jarring for people who are coming into this. It's very smart. It's very smart.
You know, another thing I just want to it's not a dig at Marvel, but it kind of is. Remember when Marvel would give us the animated in comic book form, and all it was a panel by panel of the actual cartoon in a comic book?
Yeah.
I'm glad DC is like, no, we're gonna set this between. It makes for a more enjoyable experience to read it.
That it does.
So thumbs up.
Yes, Beck. I'm a huge Superman fan too. Rich is off and on, but he's fine. You know, Rich goes in and out, but I've been a long time Superman fan for a while. An easy reader, yes, check it out. You're gonna love it. First season's fully complete on Max, and the first 3 episodes are out on Max right now of the second season. Rich,
What?
I know you like redheads. Let's talk about Scarlet with 2 T's. Oh my lord. I was like, what the hell? So, I was not
Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I don't know about you, but I was not expecting I was not expecting a bunch of solo series by these characters. I really thought that I was going to get a Duke comic, and that Duke comic would lead into a G.I. Joe comic. So the fact that we're getting Scarlet and then Destro is like, wow. Like they are really like trying to, number one, expand the universe, which in my mind is kind of cool that they're doing it. But at the same time, G.I. Joe is a thing. Like it is a thing in this universe. As sort
but
of like
but not like we're used to it.
Yeah, it's like G.I. Joe and Cobra is looming in the background, and these are just like the individual stories for the agents. And I was not expecting them to do it like this. I was expecting a much more team book. And how do you feel about that? Like,
so one of the greatest things about the Cobra Commander series, besides seeing my lovely Dreadnoks that I absolutely adore, was that we saw the formation. We saw the beginning origins of Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
Up to him forming Cobra.
Yeah.
Like that. It was only like 6 issues, and it worked. It worked within what is known now as the Energon universe.
Yeah.
Just like Transformers, they touched down on Earth, battle between the two, and now they're moving on. And now we get Scarlet, and like you said, Destro. Very excited. I've read some of Destro. Excited for that.
I agree with you, Barlord. I do think that we're going to get a G.I. Joe announcement at San Diego Comic-Con, and I do believe they're going to talk. They're going to say who the creative team is, and I think it might be.
I think it's going to be Kirkman.
Yeah, like I was reluctant to say the name, but I think it's going to be him.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too. So the 2 things I love about this cover is it shows Scarlet as a badass in her kind of original costume.
The green and the red, that's always been her look, and I've always thought,
and the yellow.
Yeah, the yellow. She has always had, like, I was a fan of CoverGirl, but I always thought Scarlet's look was better.
CoverGirl I liked for her javelins.
Yeah.
That was about it. But the fact that the tattoo is subtly just in the background lets you know kind of a hint as to what's coming in this book.
Yeah.
And it did not disappoint. I will be honest. The one thing that kind of disappointed, the art in some places I felt was some places it was beautiful, and some places it was like a little rushed. The thing that killed me though was the Homer Simpson head as a statue. I thought that was hysterical. I don't know if it was meant to be, but it looked like Homer Simpson's head.
I don't think it was. You know, I think he was supposed to be. You think it was? I mean,
I do.
I don't know. Like, okay. I liked everything about this book.
Same.
I liked that again, I have to ask you this question. What do you think about them? I'm sorry. What do you think about them doing all these solo books?
I love it. I love it because you're building the world.
Do you think they're going to end, or do you think and lead in, or do you think they're going to continue to have these solo books while they have a larger G.I. Joe book going?
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, I agree too.
Because it allows for more stories to be told within the world. Now, I don't want them to do a blood hunt, 90 different issues you got to read, because I think that would be saturating. And I don't think that's what the fans want. You know, I think one Transformer book is great. I think one main G.I. Joe book would be great, with maybe 2
like the
solo stories.
Yeah, the
like
Duke
they're
and the
doing.
Scarlet, and then Destro and Cobra Commander, and then have like, well, they did a Cobra book. That'd be crazy.
That would be. And yeah, Barlord, I agree. They're doing this. They're putting these little books out, building the world so that when G.I. Joe comes out, oh my God, no. You that have been reading it, you'll just get more out of it when the book hits. And I'm sorry,
that
JD.
damn parrot.
Yeah, no. I gotta say no. Though, you know what? A one-shot would be great. One-shot would be great. Oh, we are Easy Reader. We're going to be reviewing Precious Metal. Oh my God. I can't wait to talk about that book.
Yeah.
But
this, again, I liked this because like Barlord said, it's hitting the ground running, and you can see these little, like, now we're getting to see Scarlet's relationship with Jinx with Storm Shadow. Maybe we'll have Snake Eyes show up. I really hope that Snake Eyes shows up in her book and doesn't get his own book. I think it's really great that they're focusing on 2 other people. And I do think that it's going to be really, really interesting to see her in the fold with everything else. And I really wish that more people will pick up these books and really not let it go by the wayside, because they feel that it's just nostalgia bait for you know, late 80s, 90s teens.
But it's not. That's the thing.
It's not. They're very actually strong stories.
Yes. And the fact Snow Job was in it. Yes, he's a redhead. And yes.
Oh, and then like that's what I mean. G.I. Joe was kind of the formations of G.I. Joe is kind of there, but I wonder what it's going to look like. And I think, you're all right. San Diego Comic-Con is going to come, and we're going to get in the fall. We're going to get a G.I. Joe book. I don't think we're going to get a Cobra book. I think we're going to get a G.I. Joe book, and it's going to be in retaliation to what happened in Cobra Commander. And I think that's just a fantastic way to bridge the gap into all these different stories coming in together. If you're not reading these books, you're really kind of missing out, especially the G.I. Joe books. Really, really good.
And I do want to say Stalker was one of my first figures.
My first figure was a Snow Job, actually, because he was on the all white and everything. And then I got what was the it wasn't Jinx, it was the other guy that came. It was 3 of those ninjas that came, and they were working with Snow.
Quick Kick?
Was it? Yeah, Quick Kick was the other one that I got. And I was like,
so my absolute very first figure was Rock and Roll.
Oh,
and that was my very first figure.
And I got a bat.
Rock and Roll.
I got a bat too. So, and that's Destro.
I love the
backup
bats.
story.
I had a lot of bats. I think I had a lot of bats.
I only had the one because I couldn't justify buying more than one.
It's an army. You needed more than one.
That one showed up multiple places. That was like Super Bat.
Super Bat.
So the next comic we're going to talk about. Oh,
wait.
Yeah, we got to read.
I just want to say. We didn't
read the
we didn't, did we?
No, we didn't.
Oh.
We're gushing about the comic. We forgot to read the credits.
Yeah, I gotta say, if you are a G.I. Joe fan, if you are even the cartoon, I don't care. If you like it, this is really good. So the writer was Kelly Thompson, and she's written a lot of kick-ass women, and I feel like this was right up her alley. Yep. Marco Ferreri was the artist, Lee Loveridge was the colorist, and Russ Wooten did the lettering. And the main cover that you're looking at on your screen was by Marco Ferreri. The Joelle Jones cover was gorgeous. I love her. There was a whole bunch of 1 in 1 millions. I don't know. There was a bunch of ratios for this.
Yeah.
But this I say pick it up. Yeah, I really do.
It's worth it. The next one we're going to read is Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. What a title.
It's too damn long. You know how I feel about these long ass titles.
Phrasing.
Let me get the okay. So the story was by Jerry Duggan. We've talked about him in the X World.
Yes.
And the art was by Gary Brown. The color artist was Chris O'Halloran. And the letterer, I find this weird. It's just Joe Sabino. No more VC.
Oh, he must be doing this outside of the company or the offices.
I know. I don't know. It's just
gig.
weird. It's just Joe Sabino.
Yeah. So I'll start it. It took me a minute to get into. For me, it did not. Hey, Meatwad, welcome in.
Hey, Meatwad.
Glad Lord Shake got to let you out. Frylock and all them. It took a minute to get going. It looked like it was literally two different big opening stories that melded in at the end. So it was interesting because the first two stories in and themselves were just kind of meh, you know. It was just kind of meh.
Easy reader, just so you know, we do spoilers. Just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes into their like a gunslinger and a Japanese female retainer samurai, and they're on the shore as they're both about to die after the things that happen in their individual stories. Yeah, the cover is very pretty, actually. Let me what? And then they wash up on this island, and they get attacked by a monster. And then there's another guy that kind of shows up, and it's like, hey, you need to follow me if you want to survive. Very Terminator 2-esque.
Come with me if you want to.
Yeah, and so it seems like these people were about to die. And then the dead tide, I think that's what they call it, the dead tide, they washed up on this island. So it's a little bit like Lost, as they're on this island with like freaky ass monsters, and yeah, there's like an Arabian
prince.
Shows, yeah, like sort of like an Arabian prince that shows up. Oh, sorry, it's called the Corpse Tide, who brings these people to this island, and now we have to learn about the island. So I really wished that Duggan had chopped a little bit more of the beginning and got to the meat of it a little bit sooner. That's the only thing that really kind of took me out of it. You really gotta, and it's a pretty wordy book, which is fine. I can read,
the first page.
Yeah.
Holy frack. There
yes, Paul. Woo. It is definitely giving me Star Wars.
So that's what I wanted to say. The best part about this comic for me was the Star Wars cover, in the fact that you've got the lightsaber as the katana, you've got, this was a hard read for me.
There was no polar bears on the island experience.
No.
Why was it a hard read?
I just went into it. So Westerns are not I'm not a big Western fan. That's my dad. My dad's a big Western fan.
And this is definitely not weird Western either. Weird West type stuff. It's like, it was a real Western, and then it
is. And like, it was straight up Western. The art was very serviceable to the stories. Like the heads being chopped off. There was a lot in this book.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think they actually didn't need to shave off the beginning. I thought the Western part was a little too short. I thought the samurai part was way too long.
Oh, okay.
That's how I thought. And yes, we got to the meat of the story, basically the thing that's going to hook you, and then it ends, and you're like,
yeah,
what?
It's really hoping that you really liked the gunslinger and the samurai. You really liked them in order to follow into issue 2. Like, it really, Duggan really is trying hard to make you like these characters, and I don't know if there was
a couple more pages in the back. It just a couple more pages. But if you read his little thing he talks about, he says, where did it go? Grateful for your support. about the two. They're not. The title is exactly what happens. The title is exactly the thing that happens, and I was like,
Yeah.
I did not need to know that.
Well, I mean, think about it. She doesn't speak English. She's, watched her. I'm assuming it's her. She watched her husband die, get killed, and she did a rebellion. I think it's her husband. She did a rebellion against the shogunate. So she's already. The thing about in samurai culture is she's already dishonored herself. So I'm assuming she's going to be like, really maudlin and sad, and he's like probably going to be like the gentleman Jack, like trying to get her to smile or all this other stuff as they
Really, that's not how I read his character.
No. I really read his character as someone who's like is a survivor, and he's going to try to make the best of the situation, and how she had his knife to the throat. He's like, you better let me go, lady, so I can draw, so
right.
I think he's going to try to find a kindred spirit with her, and that's where the love situation is going to happen. So I'm interested because of what you said. Duggan really said like it's basically a love story set on a weird island
on the path to hell.
On the path to hell. So part of me is kind of like, hey, maybe I'll watch it. I mean, sure, maybe I'll read it and see what's going on. Like, I'm definitely going to get number 2. Like you said, I think the art was fantastic in certain spots, but a little wonky in others. But I think it might be good.
Well, then you will have to let me know because I'm done with one.
All right. Hey, welcome in Pizza Rat Comics. I hope the turtles are great.
Turtles. Guess what I got to read?
Oh Lord.
I got to read the brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 that were on order this week. Written by Jason Aaron. Drawn by, I think the #1 was Raphael Albuquerque. I think that's how you say his name.
Oh, wow. He's doing Turtles now?
So there's a different artist on each #1, or 1 through, I think, 4 or 6. Each one has a different artist. And each issue is about a certain turtle.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those kinds of things. And I did not read the end of the last run. So, I don't know why everything is the way it is, but we had to order a last issue for me so I could read it because I don't understand what happened. But yeah, I got to read it, and I think you should pick it up if you're a turtle fan.
Yes. So, as always, thank you so much for staying and listening. We have one more section in which we talk about precious metals, which is the prequel to Little Bird, which is pretty weird. We'll talk about that. And then we will talk about the Ultimates, and then we'll end the show on Uncanny X-Men 700, in which we're going to finally say sayonara to the Krakoan era. So we could do a whole show about that, but probably only give like 10 minutes because that's probably all much needs. So we'll be right back after this.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Something is speaking to you. Just at the edge of your perception. Your senses fill with visions of vortices.
360 Comics.
Slowly drawing you to one thundering epiphany.
360 Comics! 360 Comics!
The universe is telling you to shop with 360 Comics. Joe's got amazing stock from high dollar to $5 books from Silver Age to modern, CGC, variant covers, and more. 360 Comics every Wednesday at 9 Eastern, part of the experience. Some comic live streams seem like they're just throwing everything at the wall. Hey, you want this unknown comic? Yeah, here, how about this boring one? Found this one in a rain gutter, give me some money for it. I know this looks like a rotting sandwich, but I swear it's a comic. Pay me! But with Comic Collectibles, we know you don't just want comics, you want the right comics. You want rare variant and incentive covers, vintage books in pristine condition at prices you won't find anywhere else, and truly unique hand-drawn cover sketches by some of the most amazing artists in the business. Join Rex and his rotating cast of co-hosts live from Dynamite Entertainment headquarters for a carefully curated roster of comics that you'll only find here at Comic Collectibles. Every Monday at 6 and Wednesday at 7 Eastern Time. Part of the experience.
Did you know that Arthur, King of the Britons in Monty Python and the Holy Grail was played by a famous Graham? Check out another famous Graham by following our Instagram.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Geek Chat. I'm Rich.
I'm Des.
You are watching us on The Experience, one of the greatest comic book platforms there is. You can head to comicshoppingexperience.com, see what shows are on when, and sign up for the mailing list. Following us at 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern, is Sketch Up with Mog and Mel, and JD will let us know who's on because I forgot. So this is the last segment. Be sure to get your... Oh, look at that. It was aliens.
It's always
They got a
aliens.
bunch of people.
It's always
So,
aliens.
It's always aliens. So hashtag EXP TGC variant to get this 1 in 25 by Jonas
Miller.
Schnurf. Not Miller.
I did it. I did it. It's me. I made that.
You did that.
No.
Though he did do writing and drawing in a book that came out earlier. No, it was last year. Was it this year or last year? I cannot remember. I don't even know what year we're in. It's like
that vacation really sent you for a loop, huh?
May, June, July of 2098. I don't know.
But yes, you two can win that. And stay tuned because at the end of the show, we're going to spin to win. And then we'll see who comes up. So please. Oh, the experience says a few weeks ago, Mog, Mel, and some of their artist friends realized that they all have a love for ancient aliens. So it's all about conspiracy theories and aliens live drawing tonight. So
wow.
if you like conspiracy theories or you believe that you've been touched by an alien, join. I'm sure they'll love to hear your stories.
Do you know that Coog watches that sometimes?
Touched by an alien? I can speak.
No, the guy with the weird hair.
Touched by an angel?
No, the alien guy that they just showed.
I don't watch him. Sorry.
Oh, I don't either. He just watches it sometimes.
I'm way too terrestrial. So anyway, Precious Metals is what we're going to talk about now. A very interesting comic by the guys who did Little Bird, and it even says it on the cover.
Yeah.
From the
35
world.
years before the events of Little Bird.
Yeah.
35.
Yeah. So it's very European. I'll say that.
So yeah, written by Darcy Van Polgeest, art by the amazing Ian Bertram. Whole reason I read Little Bird was for that art.
Yeah.
Colors by Matt Hollingsworth. Letters by Hassan Atsmain El Hau. And the logo and something designed by Ben Didier.
Yes, both of you are right. Pizza Rat, the cover is fire, and easy reader. The art is so detailed, you have to pace yourself. Agreed. That's why I say it's European, because you really get a Mobius sort of Metal Hurlant kind of look to it, and the writing is just as kind of cerebral as you would get in a European type of comic. This is definitely interesting. Takes place in a world in which people are modded with various different looks like on his arm he has tentacles that are coming out of his arm, and he uses that as like a hand, and the world is all modded around them, you know, or people are created or harvested, and an entity is harvested that might be, you know, a Jesus allegory, and there's a revolutionary faction that is trying to get the boy. But the boy has implanted something in our hero's head, I think his name is Max, in order to save him. So it's funny. You know what I'm getting from this? And this is going to sound really, really weird. I'm getting a lot of Golden Child vibes from like that.
Really?
Yeah, that Eddie Murphy movie from the 80s. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. How many issues is it going to run? I have
I'm gonna look that up.
no idea. But
I'll
I'll
look
tell
it
you
up.
one thing though. It was $5.99. This thing is huge. So many pages. Each page is a piece of art in and itself. It's just, yeah, it's just I don't get it. I look at this stuff and I'm like, wow. It's got a lot of influences in it. You know, a bounty hunter. It's got Blade Runner. It's got um all kinds of stuff in it. I don't want. This is the ones that I don't want to give too much away because of how the artwork is and just the weird creatures that Beltram creates. It's
I just want to show one page.
very psychedelia. Oh yeah, that's the world. Like that's the world. It's just so weird.
It is.
So weird.
It's the how big? The art for me was the biggest draw for this book. I just sat there, just the details and faces. Okay, so this is going to be 6 issues.
Okay, sounds about right. I think that's how much Pretty Bird was. Yes.
Yeah, and it is so much wrapped into one.
Yeah, I
The
really
character designs.
Pizza Rat, you're correct. I'm not a betting man either, but I think something like this would look fantastic animated.
Oh
And
my god, yes.
how everything kind of moves together and this sort of organic nature that everyone has, like even the super chubby guy, you know,
in the chair,
even he
like Mojo, yeah.
Even he looked like, I don't know, it's sort of like, oh my god, what's his name? Frank Quietly a little bit, you know? It's
Yes,
like
very Frank Quietly.
it's yes, definitely getting Aeon Flux vibes. Oh my god. It's just if you got to pick up one book this week, pick this one up. I think you would really, really enjoy it. And if you enjoy,
and you don't need to read Little Bird. You really don't need to read Little Bird.
No,
you can, because that's a great book, but like it's set later. But yeah, I have to agree. This, I am just, oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. At the end, yeah, like everything about it was just like it's bananas. Like be prepared, you know, to have your brain rocked a little bit. It's kind of bananas.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna change change gears to something that's not very bananas, but it's the coming of the Ultimates. And this is Ultimates #1. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No,
that's what we're getting.
No, it's just
okay.
yeah.
Let's get this out of the way. So, writer was Dennis Camp. Artist was Juan Frigeri. Color artist was Federico Blee. The letterer was VC's Travis Lanham. And that cover was done by Dyke Ruan and Alejandro Sanchez. And there was a butt ton of variant covers.
A literal ton. It's crazy.
And we're giving one away.
Yes.
And then the map that is in it was done by Jonathan Hickman, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah. So, Barlord, you've been hearing mixed things about this one. Yeah, that's because it was a mixed bag. It fills in everything that you needed to know from the Hickman Ultimate Universe thing before Spider-Man and all them hit. So it fills in everything that happened after they trapped the Maker in the city. And it tells you there's kind of a bit of a couple of time jumps a little bit here and there, in which not really. I guess they send all the packages to the back, and then so so it starts off with Tony Stark, young Tony Stark, getting everything together, and then Doom writing out the calculations. Who is Reed Richards? Doom writing out the calculations to send the stuff back in time to the people who needed it. Peter Parker, the X-Men, all these other people, and they want to see what's going to happen. And so they send it back, and then they start seeing stuff on the news about what starts that change in real time. And I have to tell you, I was I almost kind of laughed a little bit at how many people just decided not to be heroes. Number one, and the heroes that killed themselves accidentally because they didn't grow up with their powers, they didn't know what to do with them, and so they inadvertently killed themselves. And it was just like, part of me was kind of like, yeah, I think that would happen to me if like someone just kind of granted me powers out of nowhere and I didn't grow up with them. I think that probably would have happened to me too. So part of it was a bit of realism that I was thinking, okay, I can understand what they're thinking about with that. But then the second part is them basically getting the Avengers together. And we switch over to Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, who I guess in every universe will be lovers. That's fine, whatever. And, Hank Pym has been having these weird dreams about ants or insects because they're an exterminator business. And so they exterminate ants, which is kind of funny when you think about it. But there's like, they have to kill some moloids who are living in this guy's basement, and you're not supposed to kill them. You can kill them, but they're not going to. And then, they go and they meet him. Tony Stark goes and the Avengers go and confront Hank Pym, and they're like, hey, we want you to join us because we're a resistance. We want you to help. And then, Captain Britain shows up and they have a fight. And then, we get the Wasp and Ant-Man. And I'm like, okay, it's the beginning of a book. It's the beginning of a team. It's a beginning of a quote unquote revolution. And Steve Rogers, I think, was the best thing about the book, because he was the one that basically had the most humanistic or the most, I want to say, street knowledge and common sense out of all of them, because Tony and Dr. Doom, Reed Richards, are men of science, and Steve Rogers is a man of the streets, and so he's in his guts and everything. So I like the dichotomy between them, to talking about if it's going to work with them building a revolution and all this other stuff. So, because remember, Hickman wrote in a 2-year countdown because that's when the Maker is going to come out and they have to fight him. So at some point, maybe I really hope it's in real time. So 2 years will pass before we get the main story, because I think that would be kind of hilarious, where the Maker comes back and give Hickman 2 years to kind of grow the Ultimate Universe. I think it'd be kind of fun.
No, God.
Why?
No.
Why not? What were your thoughts?
Okay. Where do I begin? I have to say, Barlord, yes. You really didn't need to read the Ultimate Universe before. You really didn't, because it has nothing to do with the Ultimate Universe. They're basically doing the 616. The fact that Janet's costume is a costume from like 15 years ago in the real world, in the real 616, didn't like that.
I think you
didn't like that at all.
I think it's almost identical to what she wore in the movies too. Like his and hers are almost identical to what they wore in the movies.
Yeah, didn't like that. The fact that they actually referenced a 616, really? I don't know. I had a lot of problems with this issue. The art was serviceable. I mean, the dude, he can draw these heroes. There's no oomph. Like there's no
gravitas.
No, there's no. You know how everyone that we love, like George Perez, you can find something about George Perez that makes it amazing. This guy's art is comic book. It's very good. It's very good. But it's nothing that made me be like, ooh, okay. I love it. That's just a side note. I did not like the fact that they're taking from, the only thing different about this book is Doom is actually Reed Richards and
Yeah.
that's changed up, and that Tony Stark is Iron Lad. Otherwise, you have Captain America, you have Thor, you have the Wasp, you have Giant Man. Oh, I can read the Avengers for that. Like, I don't. This is where I don't think that it is too
Different
different
enough?
from. It's not different enough, and that's the weird thing about the original Ultimates is they changed it. They changed Captain America's personality. They changed up little bits. I was expecting something a lot different. I don't understand the idea that Dennis Camp has, why this has to mimic the 616. I don't understand that. If you are sending out these boxes are based on the 616, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They're thinking that these are the heroes. This is supposed to be an alternate version of the 616. And
Right.
the maker, Reed Richards, went back and changed all that to not have certain heroes come into power or be born. And
Right.
so the stuff that Doom and Reed were doing were finding the existing heroes that were supposed to have them and giving it to them later in life. And that's
I
why
get that. I just Janet is not a fashion designer. I get that.
No, they were exterminators.
They're exterminators. Seeing that costume,
Hank is chubby.
While a great costume, I just think it was misplaced in this book.
Barlord.
That's just me.
Barlord, having them be cavalier. I think Janet was the one that was the most cavalier about everything.
But she shot through someone's head.
Yeah, and then Hank Pym basically stomped on everybody.
So I won't kill a Morloid, but I'm gonna kill these bad guys that are against me. Okay, that's cool.
And she was like, "We have to do this. We have to make this happen." And so I think her about face was really, really quick. It's a lot different than what I was expecting from what I read in the Free Comic Book Day. Yes. I think the Free Comic Book Day was much more, I don't know, it just felt more like we got to see more different changes, where I can see what you're saying. It's too much like the 616. It's like 616 light.
It is.
Or as you know, the experience says, it's kind of like Aldi's brand art. I think this is sort of like Aldi's brand Avengers. So we'll see.
The other
I'm
thing,
gonna follow it.
The Twitter's having a problem with it being all white cast.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too. Yeah, I was like, you know, they'll bring some black folks in it. It'll be, you know. So
I don't know. For me, I am enjoying the hell out of the other books.
Yeah, the other books are a lot better.
Spider-Man is top of the pile for me. Peach Momoko's X-Men has been weird but enjoyable.
Yeah.
And Black Panther is a whole new take. So that's really my problem. Black Panther is saying this is the ultimate Black Panther, and it's a brand new take on all the characters. Peach Momoko's X-Men, brand new take on what is a mutant in this new world. And Peter Parker being friends with, well, spoiler if no one's read them, but they've been out for a while. The fact that he's friends with the Green Goblin and their families are meeting and going to dinners and they're going to be going through secrets together. It's something fresh. I just didn't feel freshness in this Ultimates book for me.
I will agree with you, Bar Lord. I really like Hank Pym as a character, and they writers in the 616 just cannot stop character assassinating that man or that character. So I really hope that we get, like you're saying, a redemption story for him.
Oh no, he's gonna smack Wasp. He's gonna beat her.
I really hope not, because I thought if you didn't read Mighty Avengers by oh my god, his name was just oh my god, the Spider-Verse guy who's doing Spider-Boy. I can't remember.
Mark Waid.
Dan Slott.
If
you read Dan Slott's Mighty Avengers, that was like a really truly redemption story for Hank Pym, and it was great. So I really enjoyed that. Okay, last but certainly not least, we're gonna wrap up the Krakoan era in 10 minutes or less. A lot of writers, a lot of artists, they all took their stab at giving us a little bit of hints about what's coming on and what's going. Um, Xavier, being the rat that he is, basically built in a safeguard that even though his body is trapped, his mind is still free to wander, and we got to see a little bit of those wanderings in this book. Rich, what were your thoughts about Uncanny X-Men 700, the conclusion, final nail in the Krakoan Age coffin? What was your thoughts?
This was a mixed bag for me.
Me
I
too.
thought the backstories were a little bit better. I absolutely loved Salvador Larroca's art with the Mystique, Nightcrawler, Rogue, Destiny story. That should have been in that wedding annual, not in this. That should have
I
been in
agree.
the wedding.
I agree.
I
agree.
absolutely loved seeing the last pages that gives us a little insight as to, I mean, they were only one-page stories really, about the new X-Men book, about the new Exceptional book, about the new Uncanny book.
Yeah, Havoc sitting there kind of like looking at his like what's going on, and
Havoc you saw, and with Angel behind him.
Yeah.
So
Phoenix.
Interesting that Forge is having some kind of vision.
Mental attack or something?
If you remember, when the adversary first attacked, he also had visions that led back to his Vietnam War days.
Mm-hmm.
I like this new idea that... So I had a weird problem with Wolverine trying to kill Xavier. I was like, okay, that's weird. But yet he's going to be mindless, not mindless, but he's going to be in the Canadian outback. Is it Canadian? Yeah, the Northern Territories in Canada, running with wolves, and Nightcrawler will show up there. We do get a little bit of the Storm being on the world stage, which is what a lot of people are a little upset about, that she's going from this...
I'm here for it.
This goddess warrior to being a politician. Whatever. We'll read it. We'll review it. For me, it was that last page. So Xavier kills himself, puts him in a weird coma, but then his eyes open. So he's definitely going to be Prisoner X. That's where they're putting him.
Yeah.
If you read the Free Comic Book Day, you already know that Prisoner X is going to be at the old school. They gave that away. For the main story, though,
this is what I want to hear.
The main story was both amazing and kind of meh. Very meh. No, it wasn't exceptional or uncanny even. It was just kind of meh, you know? It was kind of meh. For 5 years worth of stuff, this is what we got. The thing I'm most happy about is Krakoa worked when it wasn't a quiet council. I think that is what the mutants need to see and to take to heart. And unfortunately, they won't, because we get split up into the teams and they go all over, and there's no more.
Well, the Krakoa era still exists in the White Hot Room.
It does. And
no,
not the White Hot Room. They're going out. It's going.
No. Remember, half of them stayed in the White Hot Room, and the other ones
are going,
are leaving.
Yes.
It took 15 years in their time in order to find their way back.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're leaving, and they're
and I love
we have two different, mutant populations now. One that's here, and then or in the 616, and the one that's in the White Hot Room doing their thing, living their utopian life. And I thought that was great.
I loved that the Genosians are back. That made me the happiest. All the Genosians that were killed for Cassandra Nova's attack are alive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's great. What?
I just when you said it, that's great. I was like, yeah, it was. Like I think undoing that horrible tragedy is what the ultimate was what ultimately came out of the Krakoan era. Is mutants finding a utopia that they can live in. And I think that's what really pissed off Apocalypse, because they were able to do it without him. And that's why he was like, no, and they had to like subdue him and everything. And so I understand Apocalypse's anger, but I don't think that we need to have it in that book. But I think this is why Apocalypse might become more of a villain later down the line, which is great. I think that's a reason why we're going to get, stories about him, and they're going to have to take him off the board maybe. So,
well, no, we're not. I mean, they're not, because next week you and I will be reviewing the Apocalypse Air book, or whatever the hell it's called. It comes out next week.
Yeah.
It's where 12 mutants go in and try to become his heir. I don't. Reviewing it. I have no.
I forgot. We did talk about that. They did talk about that. He says he's old and he might be. Well, whatever happened to baby Apocalypse? I don't. Teen Apocalypse that was running around for a while there.
The Krakoan era started.
The Krakoan era. That's something they forgot. That they conveniently forgot to.
Yes.
So Experience says, I mean, if Kamala Harris were a warrior god, I would vote for her. I don't know about that. I mean, I think she's great in the Champions. And I don't know. I mean, I was reading the solicits for the X-Men books, and some of them might be actually better than we were thinking. But for me, oh, wrong Kamala. Kamala Harris. Sorry. Sorry. I think both of them. I think both of them would be politicians. I don't know. I do think that for me, Uncanny X-Men 700, like you said, was uneven. It had its ups and downs. It definitely was an ending. And I think I can't really say a yay or nay for it, only because they spent so long with the Fall of X and wrapping it up that I don't think there ever could have been a satisfying, a super satisfying quality endings. And I think they got as close as they could. And they decided to focus on Apocalypse because Apocalypse is generally the largest voice in the room. And I think that's why they decided to, for one, bring him in. And then for two, they got to build up the conflict. That way we get his book next week.
Right.
So
well, also don't forget, Apocalypse has been there from the very beginning. Remember, he changed his name.
Oh yeah.
He became both sides. He fought against his wife.
Did
you
notice?
Tried to teach Richter.
Did you notice they were using his Krakoan name as well whenever they would speak about him, and I thought that was really a cool nod to who he is. So and yeah,
he used his shape shifting abilities that we haven't seen in a very long time. The one page by Walter Simonson was just bananas crazy.
Yeah,
just that one page. My favorite part of this was Mystique getting her revenge on whatever her name was.
Sister Righteous.
Mother Righteous
stabbed her right in the gut. And I thought, yes. See, again, there's little things like that they touched on and they said, okay, we're going to move it on. What I really hope is now that every crayon in literally every crayon in the Mutants coloring book is on display and ready to be used. Please, for the love of, Stan Lee, use these characters. It's an empty gesture if you bring everyone back and then you create your new ones and you don't use anybody. Build upon the Krakoan era and let's see some stories and let that influence newer stories. Please.
So
please,
sadly, one of the things that someone on Twitter, a guy I follow, brought up, and I hadn't thought about this. Do you realize that they made Everett, Sync? They made him one of the most powerful, not only leaders, but they made him such an Omega mutant by what he could do. And he is nowhere to be found in this.
No idea.
Nowhere.
Idea. This is what I'm talking about. Please, 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 don't let them fall into obscurity anymore. That if we got one thing positive out of the Krakoan era is that all the mutants are alive and well, and we could do something with it. And if I was a writer for Marvel, you'd be damn sure, Skippy, that I'd be using those old characters. That's what you do. Having said all that, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. We have to give away our comic book to you guys. You got one singular minute to finish. If you have not entered in that hashtag, please do so now. It doesn't matter if it's capitalized or lowercase. Just put in hashtag the Geek Chat variant.
You did that. You did that all wrong.
What?
You forgot experience. So it's EXP TGC
I'm
variant.
Hungry, sorry.
You know what I learned? I learned in this episode, never wear a blue shirt.
I wasn't
you didn't even notice anything. I'm wearing a color, and I'm like, I hate it. I hate it.
I didn't want to say anything because it kind of washes you out. But yeah,
I don't like it.
Yeah, you need to wear like a dark shirt. But
I like my black shirts.
Yeah. So again, if you haven't put it in, please do so. We want to give these comic books away. Next episode, we'll be giving our normal book away, and then we'll be giving away one extra. That was not picked up by one of our renters. So we're gonna have 2 next week. So
our renters,
one of our
viewers.
I am dying over here.
All right, JD, hit it.
Please, JD, save me from my madness. Oh, look at all these fantastic people. Speaking of which, he's Barlord. He's retiring. This is his last season.
I know. Friday's his last. Oh, tomorrow is his last show.
All right, Barlord, thank you so much for putting it in. You're gonna win this fantastic cover. Make sure you fill out. the JD just put it in. Please make sure you fill that out. I want to send you this book. I want to give it to you. Please send it. Please fill it out. It's great to have you back, Rich. I missed you.
I missed all of you.
See, you didn't miss me. You just missed all of you.
I missed you.
So, having said that, we're gonna
thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna bounce out. Please watch Mog and Mel 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern Pacific time. Fantastic alien stuff. We love you. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Download our app on Google Play and the App Store. It's so simple, even my mommy can use it.